Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This video will be about Jupiter. On 12th of June, Jupiter became visible for the first time after being invisible, not really for a very long time. Just to remind to you, Jupiter entered sidereal Taurus mid-May, and he will stay in sidereal Taurus 1 year because Jupiter stays 1 year approximately in one sign. So Jupiter will become visible in Taurus in the 10th degree, became visible in Taurus in the 10th degrees of Taurus. This is very important. When I describe to you what I expect Jupiter to give us, in what way Jupiter will bless us, after that we'll see how this will influence the 12 ascendants. Now, first of all, Jupiter is benevolent planet, really benevolent. I really, despite of all exceptions given also from the Vedic astrology and others, I haven't seen Jupiter causing trouble. Some will say he will be expanding. I think this is also cliche. This is really cliche. Jupiter has very beautiful, benevolent nature, and this is known since very ancient times. In the Babylonian astrology, as you know, Jupiter is god Marduk. I know nowadays there are different stories which would make us doubt the completely benevolent nature of Jupiter, but I will tell you that basically the story of the creation, Enuma Elish, is saying that he saved us from, he saved human beings from Tiamat, from the mother goddess. The story has many details, many layers of understanding, but basically he protected us and he's considered to be good. Also, the size of the planet, it is believed from spiritual perspective that the size of Jupiter has also protective purpose, protective spiritual values. So Jupiter entered Taurus mid-May, and he is now becoming visible after being too close to the sun. So when the planet comes in a certain vicinity to the sun, the planet is hiding in the rays of the sun, or with other words, the planet is burned from the rays of the sun and is invisible. Now Jupiter becomes visible. And how powerful is he in Taurus? First of all, when he became visible just 2 days ago, this happened while he was forming conjunction with Venus, also still invisible as we speak, and with Mercury and also the Sun. So all four were in Taurus. Also, another important rule before I become more specific. The beginning of the cycle of visibility of the planet is like the new birth of the planet, and this is showing how the whole cycle of the planet will look like. So Jupiter is visible in the 10 degrees of Taurus. What we have in Taurus? Taurus indeed is ruling naturally the second house of the zodiac, which is about money. Taurus is ruling, the second house of the zodiac is ruling the family roots, also food industries. Jupiter became visible where you have the constellation of Perseus, the warrior who, according to the Greek mythology, decapitated the Medusa Gorgon. And there are many, many stories about Perseus. All of them are related to courage. So Perseus is courage. Only 5 degrees further, you have the star, the royal star of Aldebaran, which is the eye of the bull, which is related to power and money. What will Jupiter bring us? Well, Jupiter indeed will be blessing courage, especially to people who have sidereal ascendant Taurus. Jupiter will also be about finances, blessing finances. But here comes important detail which we cannot skip, and this is the square of Saturn. As in Jupiter becomes visible, and during his transit through Taurus, all the time Saturn will be in Aquarius, squaring him. So there will be this harmonious relationship between Saturn and Jupiter, which, what to tell you, this is this harmonious relationship which cannot let Jupiter open up and give his full blessing on us, which will be related to exactly what Taurus means and the Jupiterian nature means. It is abundance, it is philosophies, it is always possible. Jupiter will bring blessing on what we just described, but through lots of regulations, strict rules, good discipline on our behalf. Otherwise, this wouldn't be possible because Saturn squares Jupiter. This can mean eventually financial achievements or achieving what Taurus would mean, which is abundance. Also, Taurus is about beauty. Taurus is ruled by Venus. Taurus is about art. Taurus is related to the material love and beauty. And Saturn squares all this material love, meaning on material plane, because in my previous video I explained to you that the love on the spiritual divine plane is represented by Pisces and Neptune. So Saturn is squaring, and 1 year of Jupiter in Taurus, unfortunately, we will not be able completely to perceive this generous, beautiful energy of Jupiter. Even the courage which he is so much willing to denote will be squared by Saturn, which means we need to work for everything. We need to work for reaching financial results. We need to work in order to be courageous, to stay brave under the circumstances of our era, if you want, in order to also, Jupiter represents children. According to the ancient astrology, no, Jupiter, big no, he's not representing the husband. And I've seen this in so many horoscopes. Other planet represents the husband. Jupiter is certainly representing the children, also because he's related to abundance. So, in order to have very good relationship with our children, in order to have abundance, in order to have courage and to stay balanced, to reach nirvana, we need to be very disciplined. This is what Saturn in Aquarius is telling us, and Saturn in Aquarius is very, very powerful. He has his full potentials of fulfilling the karma of Saturn in Aquarius simply because he's the old ruler of Aquarius. So this way you see Jupiter is beautifully placed in Taurus, also in terms of art, beauty. We in order to have the muse, in order to have the muse to create, and let's not forget Jupiter is with Venus and Mercury at the moment of his heliacal appearance. It means when we want to have the muse to create beauty art, we need to be very disciplined, very balanced, because Saturn is also about balance. Remember, he's exalted, his hidden place is Libra, which is all about balance. So yes, Jupiter can give a lot in Taurus, and he will certainly bring peace and joy and some good results in terms of joy, luck, good finances to people who have sidereal ascendant Taurus, but certainly not without discipline, balance, time orientation, some structure, some schedule involvement, scheduling, if you want, in your lives. So this is very important. In addition, let's say how powerful Jupiter can be in Taurus. I had separate video on that, but this is also relevant now. Jupiter doesn't have any specific rulership in Taurus. He's peregrine in Taurus. This doesn't make him very, very powerful. But still, I certainly believe he can give blessing on what we just described, on on art, on creation of beauty, money, being courageous, and so on. So this presence of Jupiter in Taurus is actually very good. Also, if you have Moon in Taurus, if you have Sun in Taurus, if you have mid-heaven in Taurus, if you have descendant Taurus for ascendant Scorpio, you will certainly feel the energy of Jupiter. Other detail, Jupiter in Taurus is having one very important role, which maybe I had to start with. In 4 days only, today is 14th of June, Uranus is entering Taurus after a very long stay in sidereal Aries. 7 years stay in sidereal Aries. And Uranus is leaving Aries on 18th of June to enter Taurus to stay there 7 years. What is the role of Jupiter? Jupiter will be softening the atmosphere for the passage of Uranus into Taurus. Jupiter has this very calming role. I can give you an example. If you look, for example, at the malefic by nature lunar nodes, only with Jupiter they're fine. If you see them conjoin Jupiter, somehow he has control over them because of his mild, soft, beautiful nature. So Uranus himself is change. He represents our future. He represents the future era that we are about to enter, but we're not entering yet. And he's himself change. And usually you feel Uranus before he enters. So before he enters Taurus, we already know what he may bring. So because he's very sharp. Now, if I have to compare this with Saturn, you feel a little bit later. So he enters and later you feel his energy, but Uranus you already feel. I'm sure that most of you already know what Uranus will bring them because we feel already his, and I feel it for myself. I know what he will bring me. So if you pay attention, you will know too. So Jupiter 1 year will be in, because 1 year he will be in Taurus, 1 year he will be softening the energy of Uranus in Taurus. And the change which Uranus can bring will be a little bit, not much, because Uranus, because of his placement on the sky, is a bit more powerful. Because of his hierarchy, the planets have, the creator is the perfect mathematician. Every planet has perfect place, so well organized mathematically that these hierarchies also mathematically have their meanings, and Uranus is higher than Jupiter and thus more powerful. But anyway, I expect Jupiter to have this mediating, softening role of Uranus entering Taurus. So yes, indeed, for people with ascendant Taurus, Moon in Taurus on key position in horoscope, big changes are coming ahead indeed. And until 2025 December, they will be squared by Saturn, and they need to be very disciplined in order to benefit from these energies, not to complain from them. So saying this, we can now look briefly into the 12 ascendants, just to have the basic idea what to expect from the passage of Jupiter into Taurus. So let's start with sidereal Aries or tropical Taurus. Let's say you don't know your time of birth, then apply the moon. So this is sidereal Aries, moon in Aries, or tropical Taurus. So, ladies and gentlemen, with Sidereal Ascendant Aries, for you, the first appearance of Jupiter is taking place on your second house. Yes, you can say this is blessing on finances, family roots. This is so, but keep in mind that Saturn is squaring from your 11th house, and you may indeed be very, very structured, very, very organized. This is very important. But yes, once you do that, be careful, be diplomatic in all your activities. You may have really good financial benefits from the first appearance, but also the presence of Jupiter into Taurus, and also expect changes, especially financial for yourself. Quite important. Now we look at people who have sidereal ascendant Taurus or moon in Taurus, or if you're following modern astrology, this is Gemini. For you, lucky for you, Jupiter appears on your ascendant. Yes, this is lucky. This is very good. But in the meantime, keep in mind Saturn squares from your 10th house. And I'm sure from your 10th house, Saturn already brings you important career changes, important structural changes. You're going through important changes, and more changes you will experience with the following entrance of Uranus into your ascendant. But Jupiter will bring you blessing, protection, a sense of how to say yeah, you feel safe, you feel secure, you feel courageous, and this is fine. Just make sure that you are very disciplined in your work, in just every activity you undertake. Very important. This is the key to your. I don't like the word success because it has so many. Success indeed, to succeed in your achievements, in your goals. Sorry. Now we look at people who have sidereal ascendant Gemini or moon in Gemini, or if you're following the modern tropical astrology, this would be Cancer. Now, for you, the first appearance of Jupiter is on your 12th house. Health, winning over enemies. This is fine. Saturn squares. Now, Saturn trines your ascendant. This is fine. He already brings you great, knowledge, changes in your communication, maybe. Depends, of course, how he's placed in your chart. But in general, the appearance of Jupiter on your 12th house can help you health-wise a lot, can help you in your spiritual journey also, and yeah, win over enemies. But again, changes in your spiritual world, very important changes in your awakening may also take place. And now we look at people who have sidereal ascendant Cancer or moon in Cancer, or if you're following modern tropical astrology, this would be Leo. For you, Jupiter appears on your 11th house, blessing on children, blessing on friendships, goals, also blessing on financial results, certainly, but again, Saturn is squaring, and this is connecting you with finances through partnerships, through unexpected sources like insurances, inheritances. This is very important, and you may need indeed to be very careful, very diplomatic. This also has to do with the finances of your partner, in any sense, partner. So, yes, Jupiter is in the house of the good spirit for you, and he has benevolent function, but also you, in order to achieve your financial goals or goals in general, need to be quite disciplined, time-oriented because of Saturn. And now people who have sidereal ascendant Leo or moon in Leo, or if you're following modern tropical astrology, this is Virgo. For you, Jupiter appears on your 10th house to support the passage of Uranus, and this is important for your career changes. This is blessing on your work, blessing on career, and Jupiter is actually good for you there. He is squared by Saturn in the 7th house, who already brings you changes in partnerships. You may need indeed to be a little bit careful in your romantic life, be more diplomatic. And yes, in order to have your growth in occupation sense, you may need to be as disciplined, diplomatic, because of balanced, because of the seventh house Saturn. So otherwise, Jupiter truly is good for your work career. Now we look at people who have sidereal ascendant Virgo or moon in Virgo, or if you're following modern tropical astrology, this is Libra. For you, Jupiter rises for the first time on your ninth house, trines your ascendant. This is protection. This is spiritually very good for you. He can support communication, travel. He can support, well, your awakening studies, but not without additional work, because Saturn is squaring from your sixth house. It means you may need to be quite disciplined in your routine, very well organized, to organize well your administration, your own administration in general. Saturn is about discipline. But yes, Jupiter has his good role and very protective role for you on your ninth house. Now let's see people who have sidereal ascendant Libra or moon in Libra, or if you're following the modern tropical astrology, this would be Scorpio for you. Now for you, Jupiter becomes visible for the first time on your 8th house. He can help you win over your fears, worries, anxieties, help you improve your sleep. But yes, Uranus is entering, so the things may become a little bit more complicated, but still, Jupiter is blessing on that, and also on finances of your partner, finances from unexpected sources, and so financially this can be very good. In general, this can mean also changes for you. Also because he's with the other three planets, Mercury, Sun, Venus, all on your 8th house. Now Saturn squares from the 5th. Well, again, in order to reach that discipline, time orientation, this is very important. In the meantime, Saturn is bringing changes into your, well, 5th house is about creative knowledge, so he can be very supportive in terms of knowledge. So this is change in your, let's say you are talented into something, but Saturn can bring you back to these talents, or can make you discover new talents and so. But all without work, not without work and discipline, for sure. And now people who have sidereal Scorpio ascendant or moon in Scorpio, or if you were following modern tropical astrology, this would be Sagittarius. For you, Jupiter appears for the first time on your 7th house. This is good for you. This can bring peace in your relationship, in your romantic life. This can make you, let's say, this is blessing on certain also business partnerships and so. So this is very good. In the meantime, Saturn is squaring. So yes, you may need, all this may happen, but you need this discipline. Saturn is fulfilling the karma for your home, for properties. But in order to experience the full blessing of Jupiter, you may need to be diplomatic, careful, peaceful at home. And yes, Jupiter will bring you blessing on in romantic sense, and also make you when it is about business-wise also, he can be quite supportive. And now we look at people who have sidereal ascendant Sagittarius or moon in Sagittarius, or if you're following modern tropical astrology, this will be Capricorn. Now for you, Jupiter became visible for the first time on your 6th house. This is your routine, this is your health, and this is very good because he can help you resolve conflicts or arguments or disputes with people. So this is very good for you. Saturn is squaring from the 3rd house again. this would say, yes, third house is your communication. Watch out a little bit there. And yes, apply diplomacy in order to achieve all that. And Jupiter can bring support in health, and Saturn in the meantime can bring you a lot of knowledge when it comes to health, your own relationship with health. Not only your own health, but it is about knowing knowledge on health. This would be the good role of Jupiter and Saturn together. And now we look at people who have sidereal ascendant Aquarius or moon in Aquarius, or if you're following modern tropical astrology, this is Pisces. Saturn is on your ascendant and Jupiter becomes visible on your fourth house. Yes, he will bless your home, parents, property, if you have unresolved matters, let's say with property and so Jupiter is having his very good role, but Saturn is on your ascendant and he is already teaching you discipline, structure, time orientation. This is for sure, because he is on your ascendant since end January of 2023. But Jupiter can really be very good, give you very good news related to property relocation and so. And now we look at people who have sidereal ascendant Pisces or moon in Pisces. And if we are following modern tropical astrology, this would be Aries. For you, Jupiter becomes visible in your third house, communication, travel, studies, relationship with brothers and sisters. All this he will be blessing. But Saturn from the 12th house is like karmic things can occur, for some limits, a little bit of delay. So you may need to be very disciplined, very diplomatic with people to make sure that you have good communication and not disputes and not enemies are activated. But Jupiter will bless your studies. You can resolve disputes, problems with brothers and sisters, neighbors. Communication wise, he will be very, very good. So this is it, ladies and gentlemen, on the first appearance of Jupiter in Taurus. I will be telling you now in another video in a little bit better detail about the passage of Uranus into Taurus. This is serious. Good that Jupiter will be softening this passage, but the big deal indeed is the entrance of Uranus into Taurus. All the best. Your comments are welcome. Bye bye.